Hello everyone and welcome to the video. I added Chao to Artfight. Also, this is going to be a rambling video, so I'm going to talk about stuff that's not Artfight 2. And this video also assumes that you know what Artfight is, and also what Sonic the Hedgehog and Chao are, so I won't really be explaining those. Also, I mentioned someone by the name of Kandy many times throughout this video when referencing characters and conversations. Please note that this is my friend who's doing Artfight with me, and not some kind of sugary delight that I'm talking to like Styx the Badger would talk to rocks from the canyon. We're gonna start with some backstory first, because why not, you know? We want to talk about a lot of stuff, so we're gonna start with how this all started. Okay. So, I got sick for an entire month a couple weeks ago, and it was during the first week of my sickness that I really didn't feel like doing anything. I was struggling in my schoolwork, and I was struggling to do anything that's a normal person is supposed to be able to do by themselves, and subsequently, I also ended up missing a week of the Sun and Moon show, which has been my pretty much fixation for the past year and a half, and it literally posts daily, and there's like a ton of different shows and stuff, so I missed out on a lot. And since I was feeling so bad that I didn't even want to watch the Sun and Moon show, I decided to put on something different, maybe a movie that I actually like, which there aren't that many that I like, and that just so happened to be the Sonic the Hedgehog 3 movie. You know, the one with Shadow in it. And since I watched the third one, I had to go watch the first and the second one. Between my reverse snacking and naps, of course. And then, of course, since I watched this first and second one, I had to watch the third one again. And then I have to watch all 3 movies on repeat for the 4 days. And then realize that I also wanted to play Sonic Adventures 2 again. And ask my friends to play with me. And then we do every day for hours on end. And then I'd watch the Sonic movies again, and then I'd add Sonic X and Sonic Boom to my summer watch list, and pull out my 3DS to play Slash Shattered Crystal, and to play Sonic figures, and then buy more of them with my financial freedom, and then rewatch Sonic Prime, and have the desire to play every Sonic game I've ever played, meaning I get to replay Forces, and Frontiers, and Generations, since they were the easily accessible ones, and then I get to learn how to draw my fan OCs, and Chao, and I love my Chao! They are so special to me, and I have a few that are from a save file I played as a kid, and then I also have a bunch that I just got from the garden I started, like, as I was sick. And it dawned on me as I was going through playing Sonic Adventures 2 again, getting a bunch of new Chao, looking at my old Chao, and I remembered that Artfight existed, and it was quickly approaching. And people must also like Sonic that are on Artfight, right? I mean, there had to be a Chao on there that I could draw in the summer. That would be super fun, right? Yeah, there's gotta be at least one of them. Oh no. I mean, at first, I was just bookmarking Chao, since I love Chao and they're adorable, and I would love to see everyone else's little guys that they love so much. But then I actually had looked at pretty much all of the Chao on the site, which, as far as I can tell, there's maybe 200? Or a little bit more than that. Of course, I can't keep track of all of them, but there's a couple. There's actually quite a few on there. So, because I decided that's not enough for me, I need to see more Sonic. So I decided to, instead of putting Chao in the tag filter, I put Sonic. And then I spent way too long looking at Sonic OCs, and at this point, I have way too many bookmarks that I cannot even possibly do. Everyone is so creative and has such cool guys, and it all ranges from people having OCs that they had as kids, or people that have OCs that they made for AUs or for fanfictions, or that they just recently, you know, revamped. And it's like, everyone is so cool and we all had the same ideas. I'm so excited to, you know, draw some of them and organize my bookmarks and actually pick a couple to actually do, because I genuinely cannot do all of those. So, with all that hype around my Sonic fixation and how excited I am for Artfight now that I'm realizing I can draw Sonic for Artfight, let me introduce you to some of the Chao that I'm adding. I will start chronologically with the order I raised the Chao, since that'll probably help the picture come together easier. But also note that this video is just covering the Sonic characters I'm adding to Artfight and not my other original OCs. I actually already did that video a couple weeks ago. So we're just doing Sonic today, because that's what I feel like doing, so yeah. My very first Chao that I ever had was a two-toned flying hero-type Chao named Rammy. She was named after the fact that she had ram horns, of course. She was my absolute favorite Chao out of all of the gardens, and I constantly fed her food so she'd get enough stamina for the races. She stayed in the hero garden, of course, because that's where all the favorites went. Which, because I fed her so much food, that also meant that she slept a whole lot and would constantly, not be able to get any more sodas. By that I mean drives. So I just remember coming into the garden a lot as a kid with, the spoils of the city escape again and again, and then Rammy's there sleeping on the floor again. Okay, I guess I'll go give them to the other Chao. Okay, they're not getting up. This picture here is actually the only picture I have of her, and it's from the Chao race's record area, because she sadly did not regenerate on the original file that I had her on, and I didn't take pictures on the screens when I was a kid. However, I have had help from Kandy EX3, my friend, in creating a reference sheet, and I've gained a lot of experience as an artist to be able to draw her in different places and angles, despite not having the original image. And with those ideas in mind, I was able to create a bit of story/lore for her to include with my other newer Chao, since I never made stories for my Chao when I was younger. I didn't want to have her canonically perish, since that's kinda sad, and I don't want to deal with that. So instead, I'm gonna keep that she never regenerated, but not that she passed away, but that she grew up into an old granny Chao, similar to a Chaos Chao. I mean, if you think about it, that Chao regenerate when they're only 5 years old, she could literally just be 10 or 15, and that would be like a granny in Chao years. She tries to look out for all the youngins, including her sister, who is a Chao owned by Kandy as well, and has regenerated twice, so she has 3 forms. And if you're wondering what their name is, I've already said it. Who? Yep, that's their name. Who? Anyway, Rammy has all of the Chao badges except the Dark Race badge, since she's not allowed in, and she's very good at everything. Yay for Rammy! Anyway, moving on, we start now at the new garden that I just made this summer. The first Chao I'm going to be covering is Narin%. They are an orange, swim-type neutral Chao, with penguin, otter, and phoenix animal parts. Now, the garden that we were starting wasn't actually entirely new, but we were basically treating it as a new garden, and this fellow was in there and named Citrus. And I decided I didn't want to name them Citrus. I wanted a better name, which wasn't really going to be much better since I was just going to call them Naranja or Naranjado, but then I thought about shortening it to make it sound cute, so instead of Naranja, it would be Naran. But then Naran, or Naran, started a lot like Narin, and my Ember Knight brain kicked in and I stuck with it. So if you didn't know, just briefly cover this, a Narin is a sometimes sentient weapon from a webcomic I read. My Chao was orange, the Ember Knight was orange, it fit pretty well. And the percent just came from the idea of speedruns, and how they're titled with the goal of the run, followed by a percent sign. For example, a 100% run, or an 80% run, or even a fun percent run. So my little orange Chao's name basically means I'm speedrunning getting a Narin, which is quite absurd and funny, which is the perfect combination of attributes for a Chao name. So yeah, I'm gonna keep it. Moving past the name, the brief other details about this Chao is that he's a pretty bird who likes to keep himself clean and loves hunting and collecting shiny gems, and sometimes even Chaos Emeralds. Just like his primary caretakers, Knuckles and Rouge. He's friends with all my other Chao, but also has a good relationship with Kandy's Chao named Puffin, who also happens to be a pretty bird. Not who is not a bird. Puffin is a bird. On a side note, since I did specifically choose the way I wanted to raise little Narin%, trying to get a neutral Chao can be challenging at times. I'm always concerned if I'm interacting with the Chao too much on either the light or the dark side, and I'm really not knowing if they're going to be neutral or not. I'm trying now with some of my later Chaos by looking at the wings and trying to keep them pink if I can, but other than that, I really don't know what I'm looking for. Next up, we have /Glitch or Command Glitch. He's a ghost-bodied, two-tone swim-type hero Chao. Man, these Chaos have a lot of adjectives. He was originally supposed to be a power-type Chao, since that's what I was going for, and having about 17 power, but for some reason he still ended up with swim, despite having only 5 swim. I added this detail to his lore actually, and gave him some insecurities and issues with his appearance. That's why he started wearing a Chao egg on his head. It helped him feel safer and keep racing. It was actually a gift from another Chao named Skip. We'll get to him next. Glitch loves racing, and always tries his hardest in everything. He's stubborn, and sometimes discouraged from trying, but he loves his friends very much. He was mostly raised by Sonic and Knuckles, and feels like it's his duty to look after everyone. I actually really struggled to draw his reference because of the strange color pattern from his two-tonedness and ghostly body, and Kandy came over and helped me fix the design. Here's the before and the after. Thank you very much for helping me with that, Kandy. Next up, we're going to Confused Uno Skip, who I just mentioned. He's a shiny green power-type dark Chao. He's so pudgy, I love him. His name was based on the Skip Turn Uno card, and he's confused because there's question marks around his name. I honestly just had fun with the name to make it wacky like the others. He was raised by Shadow and often tries copying Shadow's mannerisms because he thinks it's cool. This includes running like he's skating or folding his arms often. Skip's wings are actually one of my favorite parts of his design because they look very much Shadow themed. Like, despite not being a two-toned Chao or run-type Chao that, takes after what their caretaker it looks like, they still manage to be influenced by how Shadow is, and I think that's really cool. He's the best in the Chao races and has incredible power strength. He could lift rocks no problem, and can help the Chao with anything that they need. Story-wise, Skip was friends with Glitch at a very young age and gifted them his eggshell as a gift that said never give up. Shortly after, Skip learned the drums and played them during the hatching of Kandy's Chao, Closet, sparking the love of music in them. All three have a very special bond and are in a music band called the Shiny Duckies. This name comes from the fact that both Closet and Glitch are swim-type Chao, and that both Glitch and Skip have shiny green, showing that they are all connected. Skip plays the drums, Glitch is the lead singer and bassist, and Closet plays the synthesizer/keyboard and vocals. Together they are very good friends, and age-wise, it goes first Glitch, then Skip, then Closet. They all look up to each other very much. The last Chao in my new garden that I'm putting up on Artfight is Sado. She's a black run-type dark Chao. I knew for a while that I wanted a black Chao, and to name it some sort of anagram for Shadow, and quickly realized that simply by taking out the H in Shadow's name, we get the first start being sad, which is adorable. So, despite the name not being a proper anagram, it was cute enough to keep. When I first got her, I was hoping for a sad face, to fit the cute, sad Chao void in my heart, but I love her with her smile anyway. Her form was going to be either a run or fly type, and I would have been happy with either. Her stats were very even, so I just waited to see what she would turn into. I really loved the way she looked as a child, and I actually got some pictures of it. Her pink and purple was so cute, and I really wanted that to be her color scheme, just as she's shown here. However, there's actually not this sort of shade of pink and purple options for the adult form very often. See, the ram and bunny parts change from pink to yellow when the Chao grows older, so I'd have to pick something else to be her main parts. I wasn't able to give her an immense amount of pink and purple into the final form, but I think she turned out really cute and unique. I'm so happy with it. It also took me a very long time to have this combination. Quite the few trips to the aquatic mine in Skyrail. While she doesn't have a lot of lore or story at the moment, she does have a connection with Kandy's Chao, Sourdough, as they are both twins. Her twin is a rat who was crazy once. Crazy. Also, Sato was raised by every caretaker in the game, even a bit of Eggman in there. So she has a little bit of everything. This also subsequently leads her to not having one passion or really knowing what she likes doing. She's trying new things every once in a while to see if anything brings out a passion or spark of interest, but otherwise she's fine just chilling with her sister or taking a nap on a roof somewhere. Or maybe she's breathing fire or something. She actually does that a lot more often than you'd think. That's it for Sato. I do have some other Chao that I have, but won't be adding to Artfight because I don't want to stress about having too many references in time for the event, since learning a new character that I've never drawn before takes a lot of time and work. Also, I didn't want to have an overwhelming amount of characters as compared to last year. I had only 4 last year, and this year is pushing 13. It's safe to say I'm at my limit for now. Maybe next year I'll add some more. But since this is my video and I want to talk more about Chao, we can quickly go over some of the other Chao I had from my old Chao garden. There won't be much to talk about since I don't really have lore for them yet, but I still have some fun things that I want to share. Introducing first, He. He is a neutral hero Chao, I think. This little guy is about as old as Rami in terms of how long I've had them. And what made them so special was the little blue flame above his head. We had no idea how it got there. I know now, since I've looked at the guides and know what all the animals do, that the half-fish animal has a chance of giving a Chao a flame emotion ball. But when I was younger, it was a complete mystery. As for his name, I know it's spelled like hi, but it's pronounced he, because why not have another Chao's name that's synonymously spoken like a pronoun? Haha! We can have a Who's on First skit with these Chao. Literally! Next up, we have Kiki. She's the gray neutral run type Chao. And while she's from the original Chao garden I had as a kid alongside He and Rami, she's a lot newer than the former. I honestly really love her design. I don't have any gray Chao in my new garden, but I still think that the tone looks really pretty. And also the fact that she's a Sonic Chao makes her shape stand out a lot. If you didn't know, her name was actually inspired by an anime/manga I like called Snow White with the Red Hair, in which there's a girl named Kiki who serves under the prince, and is also his friend, of course. I remember really liking her name, and since I hadn't heard it anywhere else, I decided to yoink it for myself for my pretty little Chao. And, oh, yeah, there's this one. I think it's mine. Kandy and I aren't really sure. It doesn't have a name, but I actually think this is Kiki's child. It's a two-toned gray Chao from the same garden as her. And she was the only gray Chao in that garden. So, yeah, not much else to say but that I don't really remember this fella. That's it for my Chao. I love them all and I'm so happy that I got to raise so many beautiful babies this summer. I cannot wait to be able to draw everyone else's cute little guys, and also hopefully it gives some people the joy I feel when I'm getting to do all this Sonic stuff. Unfortunately, that does mark the end of my Chao for this video. They make up the majority of my characters, and since it's pretty much all I've been talking about all video, you probably wonder why there's so much time left. Now, I did mention briefly in my backstory at the start of the video that I started replaying a variety of Sonic games, besides Sonic Adventures 2. One of them I mentioned very quickly was Sonic Forces. If you've been watching my other channel, The Cake Pop, where I play video games and, do other weird stuff, you might already know where this is going. So, for Sonic Forces, you actually have to spend a lot of the game as an avatar that you get to design. You can pick from a variety of colors and animals, and you can finish missions to unlock clothes for them. I just so happened to design a brand new avatar when I replayed it a couple weeks ago, and may or may not have gotten really excited about them. Introducing Robunbun. This is my robot bunny, Rabbit Rookie, from Sonic Forces. That is totally not an accidental triple agent for the Rebels. I won't go too crazy into the literal pages of lore I've written for them since I want to keep this video on track. And also, that will definitely be a future video. But the idea is that they are a prototype wielder for the Phantom Ruby, which is the reality-bending rock that this guy Infinite uses to eat people's fear or something. Eggman deemed Robunbun a failure since he couldn't activate the Ruby's power, or so he says, and sent him to battle with the rest of the robots with the very vague instructions to join the rebels and report your findings, and he took that a little too literally and became a real rebel with, like, good boy morals and decided to help everyone and, like, break Sonic out of prison and stuff. He's very silly and also becomes very nervous about the others finding out that he's a robot. Even more than the fact that he's nervous about them finding out he's working for Eggman, because in his mind, okay, Resistance people smash robots, but like, so many people on Team Sonic have at one point helped Eggman or, you know, worked with him. Also, Robunbun uses the Lightning Wisp weapon, and that's powered by his partner, Zip Zap Yap! Yes, we're having another character. This is another character that I actually managed to design. I was originally just going to use the Wisp design that's in the actual game, and then maybe give it a little headset to match Robunbun. I realized I didn't know what Wisp was powering Robunbun's weapon. From what I remembered from playing Sonic Colors back in the day, the Cyan Laser Wisp was the closest contender, but I thought that didn't make much sense since the Lightning Wisp was very yellow and clearly more lightning than laser. So I looked it up, and it turns out there's more wisps than there were in Sonic Colors, which includes these little ivory lightning wisps that can be seen in Sonic Forces. Now, since I had to go on that little journey to find out the truth, I thought it would be fun to make an actual design for Zip Zap, that being a merge between the cyan and ivory wisps. Honestly, I also did it because I really liked the design of the cyan laser a lot better than the other one, but I really liked the color of the ivory lightning wisp. That's what gave me this design. I kept the main head and body shape from the cyan wisp, while keeping the color, triple triangle motif, and lightning bolt on the head from the ivory wisp. I also completely changed the eyes to be just like Robunbun's to give them some more similarities. And lastly, of course, I did include the little headset that was absolutely a gift from Robunbun. A sign of friendship! I'm honestly really happy with the design. I might make some modifications as I continue to draw them, but this is what I decided to include in the reference sheet for now. They're a simple shaped character who's a little bit glowy. While on the topic of Zip Zap and Robunbun, I did, funnily enough, add an Among Us version of their reference sheet. There's not a huge reason for it besides the fact that it's fun, and Robunbun would definitely like to play Among Us, and he's also kind of an imposter. Zip Zap would probably just watch the game since nobody else can understand them in a meeting. So I decided to include little Zippy's design as if he were a cosmetic pet. I also considered doing a Spider-Man version of him since that's his favorite superhero, but I didn't have enough time or creative energy to do that before Artfight. So this is the final product. You'll be sure to see more of Robunbun and Zip Zap in a future video though. Trust me. There are pages that are yet to be seen. I have drawn him so many times. He's like barely 2 weeks old. It's crazy. With all of that, that is the last Sonic character I'm adding to Artfight. I'm very excited to make some more avatars when I unlock all the clothing in Sonic Forces. But I definitely won't be adding anyone else to Artfight this year. This is plenty good for me. Again, maybe next year. Since that's the last Sonic character, I wanted to make a small note about some of the images used on Artfight. I mentioned this briefly on my profile in Artfight, but I also wanted to include a full explanation here. I want to be a good participant and follow the rules of the site, and so by my understanding of these rules, images depicting purely canon characters are not allowed. An example of a canon character is, you know, my OC is Rabun Bun, but a canon character would be Sonic. So we're not allowed to include just Sonic the Hedgehog. There has to be some kind of alteration. So in an image I put up onto Artfight that has both a canon character and one of my OCs, I will include some merch of the I can't pronounce that. And a secondary color will be changed to bright pink. This way they have a clearer change to their design, so I can include some of the images. The letters themselves on the merch are actually a Sonic Colors reference. It's a quote that reads, "No copyright law in the universe is going to stop me." And I actually also made a bracelet that reads the same. I'm not upset by the rules or anything, and I'm not trying to jab at anyone for the way things are run. I just thought I could have some fun with my changes of the canon characters and still keep them Sonic themed. They look very silly now, and I actually kind of enjoy coming up with silly ways to put, like, merchandise on them. I will be including this theme in my attacks on people as well, if I decide to include canon characters with their characters, and I'll have to find some other way to give the recipient the original version without the modifications, but I'm still figuring out how exactly I'm going to do that. Okie dokie, that's it for that. And now we're going back to characters. Or, character. The last character I want to cover has nothing to do with Sonic, but rather keeps the tradition I started in last year's Artfight. So in my last video, and all my other Artfight videos, I've mentioned a character named Stally. I created her based on the team I chose, and last year's team was Team Crystals. She was a very vibrant crystal person that loved painting. Kandy also joined me in doing this last year with her character CO2, based on Team Fossils. And the two of them are cousins, of course. With the team reveal having been had last week, or maybe 2 weeks or more since I am slow at creating art and editing this video is going to take a long time, I decided to pick my team and start designing a character based on it. Kandy is also doing this. You should check out their video after this one to see what she did. Guess what team I chose? Why aren't you guessing? Based on how I described Sado as being adorable, the name Sad being really cute, and really wanting a Chao with a sad face, you might be able to picture which team I chose. Or maybe you just saw my post from last week. I chose Team Tragedy! And you spell it with a D in the second part, not a T. I keep messing it up every single time, so you need to know this too. Spell tragedy with a D. T-R-A-G-E-D-Y. T-R-A-G-E-D-Y. Last year's team choice really wasn't hard for me at all, but this year's was a tough choice for sure, especially since there were 3 teams. Between comedy, mystery, and tragedy, I really didn't know which one I wanted. When it really came down to it, Kandy reminded me that whatever team we chose would decide on the theme of the character we were gonna make. And with that, I absolutely had to pick Team Tragedy. Like I just said, all the teams were wonderful, but I really wanted to draw a sad clown. It's just so fun to draw sad things, and I can make them so cute and short and whimsical. And fun fact, as much as I like to draw the sad clown, I actually don't have any experience in drawing angst or like emotional pieces of characters. I don't even know how to draw someone crying. That's actually something I plan to work on this year, and what better way to work on drawing people crying than to join Team Tragedy? It seemed very fitting. I didn't know how hard I wanted to lean into the theater theme, as shown with the cool team reveal animation, but I sort of just went with whatever design looked the coolest and felt the most fun to paint out. And yeah, that's how we ended up with a puppet-looking, short, sad thing with a pirate hook they used to zipline, double clownish birthday hats and a perpetually sad eyes that have broken hearts in them. I also really like the colors. I don't work much with blue and all the other characters I've added so far, so this was fun to make combinations with. Also, yes, the eyes are orange to show the contrast with their opposite, Team Comedy. It's a connection of sorts. And Kandy actually did that with theirs too, so go look at them. I actually experimented a lot with this character in deciding what I wanted, and even thought about broken heart wings at one point that would make them look kind of like a beetle, but I decided to leave it as it is. I want to make them more outfits and experiment with more expressions, and see what sort of story or lore might fit for them. But for now, this is their finished design and what I'll be going with for this year. That is a complete run-through of all the new characters I'm adding to Artfight this year that are from pre-existing media. My last Artfight video covers the characters I updated, and that are completely original if you'd like to go see that one. That was a long video. That was a lot of fun, and that was a lot of work. I'm going to bed now. I hope you get some rest too. Please take care of yourselves, everyone. I know it's a hard ask, but it is very important. If you plan on joining Artfight this year, please be sure to drink water and sleep when the sun sets. Don't feel obligated to attack anyone you don't want to, and remember that any amount of art you contribute is enough, even if that means no art at all. This is a fun, gift-giving game, and there shouldn't be any pressure for you to feel like to meet some quota, even if it's a quota you made for yourself. I hope we can all have some fun this year, and I'm really excited to draw all of people's Sonic OCs. I hope you guys like them. Thank you for sticking around, and God bless us all. We now start at the new garden that I made just this summer this little guy is about as old as Rami in terms of long leggy. This is my robot bunny. Okay, I forgot this line was going to be so hard to read. This is my robot bunny rabbit rookie. Robot bunny rabbit rookie. Wow, that is a tongue twister and a half. Robot bunny rabbit rookie. This is my robot bunny rabbit. This is my This is my robot bunny rabbit rookie. Whoa. Since that's the last Sonic character, I wanted to make a small note here about the images used on Artfight. I mentioned this briefly on my profile. Please save. I'm actually desperate. I'm going to click this button now, and you're going to save, and you're going to be so nice because I literally recorded for so long. Please don't delete it for me. Thank you.